Hi, good evening and hello. I hope you're okay. If you are joining me here on G-Star Vault, the safe place for paranormal evidence, if you're joining me live or you're watching me at a later point, thank you for coming along. Thanks for watching. And let's get all of this stuff out of the way at the beginning. Please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel and please share if you can. We've got some comments coming in. Evening, Sean, thank you so much. Good to see you. Thanks for popping along. Yeah, so I wasn't going to do this show tonight because it's been another busy week, both with work and then editing, because I've been doing a lot of editing to get an episode out on the Underground Paradox. And so it's just been another crazy busy week, but I thought I'd drop this one in primarily because there was some stuff from that video that I released this week on Thursday that I kind of wanted to touch upon. Hadn't discussed it in the video, so if you have watched that episode, there will still be new discussion points this evening that will make it interesting, because there's some stuff that I thought about afterwards and some stuff that I didn't cover in the video. So I wanted to go back, touch on it again, but I also wanted to come along this evening just to sort of talk a little bit about this week on the Vault and promote it a little bit because there's a lot going on. But we've got some more people that are joining us. So evening to Tavi, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And then we've got Mazza, evening to Mazza. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. The Star Trek review massive. Yeah, great to see you. So yeah, I was saying about the really fantastic week ahead on the Vault, because on that note, on Wednesday after this show, we've got the guys from the Star Trek review show with Picard coming back, and I will hopefully definitely be joining them again this week. So you'll see me there with those guys. And then on Friday, we've got the March Monty Zone. So we ride out the month of March with Monty and myself doing a Monty Zone this Friday. And it's unexplained celebrity deaths. It's going to be a real interesting one, especially with what's happened this week with the release of a lot of the JFK files that were kept top secret until now, till this week. So that was 1,000 pages, I believe, of confidential documents. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Tavi. Yeah, good one. Hit the like button, please. That would be awesome. And I can't hit. I'm signed on with the Vault, and you can't hit the like button. But I did hit the like with another account earlier on, so I have done it, Tavi. I promise. But if everybody else, before Tavi goes green and gets angry, could you hit the like button, please? That'd be amazing. Thank you. Yeah. So we've got the Monty Zone on Friday, and that's the unexplained celebrity deaths. So some really interesting stuff there. And then I will be back with you again next Sunday for part 2 of thought-provoking movies, and I'm going to have a special guest that's going to be joining me. I'm not going to tell you who that is now. You're going to have to keep your eye on the community thread throughout the week, where I will reveal who the special guest is going to be, but I will leave you with a clue. The guest is an author. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to have this special guest along. So that'll be next Sunday. And as I said, we're going to be going through some more movies, top thought-provoking movies in different categories, because obviously the last time, part one, was ufology. So it'll be a totally different category of the paranormal next Sunday. So a busy week here on The Vault and lots to look forward to. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to come on tonight, just to say that there's so much going on and so much for everybody to enjoy. So please do join us on Friday as well, because, you know, we only do the Monty Zone once a month, so don't miss out. It's this Friday at 8 p.m. Okay, so as you can see from all of the backdrop that I'm sitting in right now, this is podcast 11. I have been making a lot of mistakes lately, so I don't know if you watched the last G-Star Vault I did, but I put podcast 010 up, but I made it so big that the G-Star Vault sort of watermark there, so it looked like it was podcast 01 instead of 10. But, you know, we're on the 11th podcast, and this is the 50th episode of G-Star Vault, both pre-recorded and live. So that's quite an achievement, 50 episodes. So yeah, please give a little bit of love in the comments box there. And yeah, so here I am, and I wanted to talk about this video that I've uploaded this week, but again, I've been making lots of little errors here and there. Give me a thumbs up in comments if you've actually watched the episode on the Underground Paradox, UAPs in Cornwall, the Enigma investigation. Give me a thumbs up if you've watched it. If you haven't, it doesn't really matter, because the reason why I'm here this evening is I'm going to discuss just something that happened in there. But the episode itself, you know, it's a good episode, but probably not one of my best on the Underground Paradox. But I felt I still had to put it together, and there was the reason why, because I went to Bude based off of some reports, UAP, UFO reports. I went to Bude. I did a first camp overnight in the Bongo, the camper van, the Underground Paradox machine. And whilst I was there, I caught something on camera. The two reports, I'm not going to talk about them this evening greatly, but what I will say is that throughout the video, if you have watched it on the Underground Paradox channel, if you haven't, just a bit of an overview. Through those reports, one of them came out sort of inconclusive, really, and the other one I thought was misidentified. But I'm not here to talk about them this evening. I'm here to talk about the footage that I captured when I was night filming. And it was the whole reason why I felt compelled to put the episode out. Because the actual episode itself, here's where I've made further mistakes. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on myself there, but it was the first time going out in the Bongo, and the exciting thing about having the Underground Paradox machine is that I can introduce an element to the Underground Paradox episodes, which is kind of like van life and wild camping and things like that. So it's the first night going out and trying to get used to the whole logistics and operations of the camper van and getting things set up, and then remembering to film. I didn't do either one very well, to be honest with you. And you'll see in the episode, I talk about the fact that I forgot to film this, I forgot to film that. You know, just being transparent and honest. But, you know, I had to put the episode out because of the footage that I had captured and filmed myself. The reason why I want to still talk about it this evening is because it's still really, really frustrating me. So if you haven't seen the episode on the Underground Paradox yet, do not worry, because I've got the video footage that I talk about in that episode. So there will be some spoilers, obviously, but don't let that stop you from watching the full episode. There's still some interesting stuff on there that I won't cover this evening. But yeah, I'm going to play you the video shortly, or some videos. I've taken an insert or a part of the episode out as well, where I did a bit of photographic analysis. It wasn't the best, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a videographer, I'm not an expert on these things, but I've pulled that out of the episode so I can show you that also this evening. And the thing that I wanted to bring this to this show tonight and to this podcast and to you guys is because I'm still looking for I'm hoping that somebody can come up with some other suggestions or ideas, because this experience for me is super frustrating, because I don't actually, before I show you anything, I don't believe that this is something otherworldly. I believe that there must be an explanation for this, but I just can't find it. And it's really frustrating. So been racking my brains, and I've got some other stuff to discuss that I didn't discuss on the actual video. But anyway, let's give this a watch. So this is raw footage. I haven't done anything to it. Haven't changed the sound, so you might want to boost the sound up, because I am talking on it at parts, but it's not very loud. I haven't played around with it. I haven't put any filters on it. This is absolute raw footage, which is what I use in the episode as well. Have a watch a bit. This first one, there's two pieces of video footage at night time. I'll play the first one, then I'll talk a little bit about camera stuff to you, but have a watch of this anyway. That is so strange, because to the naked eye, I can't see this purple light. It's quite in the distance from me. It's not a star, because again, I'm trying to drop the camera, but it's sort of quite high up in the sky, but I can't see it with my naked eye. Strange. I'm going to put the camera down a minute and just have a bit of a look to see if I can see what it is. Okay, so do let me know in comments if you could hear the audio. I did say whack your volume up. Basically, if you couldn't hear the audio, I was just talking about the fact that I was filming the skyline. I was filming where there was a little sort of, I don't want to say town, but a little residential area. And then I sort of panned the camera up into the sky and saw this purple light. Now, I actually have this really bad habit which I need to get away from when I'm filming. And this is something that I didn't explain on the episode on the Underground Paradox, but I'm explaining it to you guys. I have this really bad habit that when I'm filming with the camera, I'm looking at the screen a lot of the time, and then I do this, and I pull the camera down, and then I actually look with my naked eye. And I need to stop doing that, and remembering that I could just move my head around and look. And you can see that throughout this video footage. That's why this purple light that's on there, that's why it looks like it's moving, and it's not. It's me moving the camera and doing a bad job of some of the filming. But I just wanted to explain that first of all. And the main thing is that when I was looking with my naked eye, I couldn't see this purple light. But when I looked on the camera screen, I could see it. And I've never come across something like that before. Anyway, before I say any more, I'm just going to play you the next bit, because what I said in the audio was that I was putting the camera down and stopping filming because I wanted to kind of have a real proper look with my naked eye, let my eyes reset, try and see if I could see this light, and I couldn't. And then I started filming again, and this is the next piece of footage. Okay, so I've tried to have a look with my naked eye. Switch the camera off for a moment, but I can't find an explanation. But it's trying to give a perspective of height. that's the sort of town, that's the normal skyline, and it's up here, but I can't see that with my eye. There's a tree in front of me. I think you can see the outline of that tree there. So I'm thinking that's a star. I just don't know what that is, and it's obviously some sort of camera anomaly. Difficult to say that word, but it's definitely not a star because I can't see the star unless it's just the camera can pick it up. But why is it purple? That's just normal sort of building lights. There's a tree there, and then up there, but I can't see it with my eye, only through the camera. Strange. So yeah, now, basically, just a couple of things to explain in that footage so you don't think I'm strange, because I make a comment and go, I think that's a star there. Of course it's a star. The reason why I said that is because there was some footage, and I explained this in the episode, so this is a bit of a spoiler. I explained in the episode that I was doing some filming before all of this happened, and part of that filming, what I wanted to do was film a star and show that with the camera zooming in and zooming out on a star, that you get this effect where you get a sort of cycle of multicolor lights coming off. And a lot of people upload UFO, suggesting that it's UFO evidence, etc. And what it is they've just filmed a star and they've zoomed in on it. And I was trying to replicate that with the star that I referenced in that last piece of footage. The thing is, I couldn't do it anyway properly because there was a load of cloud and fog, and as you saw, it was a bit foggy over that star. But I was basically saying I'm pretty sure that that's a star there, using it as reference. So again, my filming wasn't great. I kind of, as I say, was moving the camera up and down where I kept trying to look with my naked eye and see why I couldn't see it. I was obsessed whilst I was doing this filming. One of the things that was running through my head is get a size perspective, which I think I'm just going to play this one again. Off mute. I don't think I can turn the volume down, but hopefully you guys can still hear me and what I'm saying. But yeah, when I came across it, I can't actually move this forward. Actually, what I'll do is, instead of playing it this way, sorry, bear with me a moment, guys. What I'm going to do is just use it in another, share the video in another way. Here we go. Right, yeah, so that's got me on the screen. I can turn the volume off then. Okay, we'll talk about some audio stuff in a minute, but I think it's in this bit. You can see in this bit, I pull right out so that you can kind of get a perspective, and at portions it looks like a star on the video. It looks like a star, but when you zoom in on a star, as I say, you get this multicolor cycle. It doesn't stay one. There we go. That's where I wanted to pause it. Stop. Is it still playing? Sorry, having technical issues here. I'm like pausing it, but it's still playing for some strange, bizarre reason. Right, there we go. This is all good fun. I'm waiting until it gets to the star bit. There we go. And I'm just trying to explain that, when you zoom in on a star, it wouldn't stay that same color. And this is, I don't know, it kind of looks like a light purple to me. Let me know if you agree in comments. I'm just going to go over to comments, actually. So we've got some stuff there where I think Sean was saying earlier on that it's the equinox. We still get more light each day, but it's starting to slow down. Thanks for that, Sean. And then thank you for the guys that were saying, yeah, you could hear me. What's this one? Well, I wonder if it could be a given off. Well, I wonder what could be giving off that kind of bioluminescence. Yeah. You'll find out in a minute what I did, because I was nighttime filming and I was staying over with the camper van, so it wasn't very far from this location. And so I filmed some footage the next morning, stood in the exact same place, or later on when it was daylight, I went back to the same location, stood in the same spot and filmed, and I've got that footage to share with you. So you can see what was in the background, because obviously you can't see very much at night. Sean says, don't know if they saw the film. Nope, but watched it over the weekend. Really interesting, right? Yeah. It's is that the one that's got the guy from Walking Dead in it? And I believe that's where they're on the ranch. It's an awesome film. Yeah, thanks for that, Sean. Let me know if I'm thinking about the right one. Well, see, yeah, the thing is, if the camera could have seen it, I should have surely been able to see it with my naked eye, unless somebody knows that where there's a phenomenon that can only be picked up by camera and not be seen with the human naked eye. I don't know. Why are those comments not coming up? That's weird. Comments are coming up on YouTube, but not coming up on my comments in here. Cool. Well, thank you for all your comments, guys. Yeah, but getting back to this video footage. So, yeah, you can see that it looks like a star from the distance, but when you kind of then go in, it sort of kind of stays purple. And that shouldn't happen if it's a star. But the one thing I can say, which again I cover in the video, it's my bad camera work, but this object isn't moving very much. In fact, it looked almost stationary. Something that I didn't talk about very much in the episode that I wanted to cover is just going to remove that a moment. Yeah, one thing that I wanted to cover was the fact that there was a sound. So I've listened to it back. I didn't talk about the audio very much on the video, but I've listened to it back, and there's this weird sound that comes into play as well, especially around I'll play the footage again. So this was the original footage. I'll just play a little bit from the beginning. Make sure you're having a listen. I'll play like 30 seconds of it. What it sounds like to me, and I can't recall there being any sound at the time, but if I'm going to put an honest sound to it, it sounds like somebody blowing up a camper bed. But there wasn't. And believe you, I wasn't blowing up a camper bed, because I was sleeping in the bongo on a pull-out bed. So yeah, have a listen. Just right about then, just when the purple thing came in, like there's this sort of sound. Don't know. Let me know if you can hear that through your devices and what you're watching at home. That would be really useful. You can let me know in comments if you can hear it. But it sounds a little bit like background music, like you know, I can hear some sort of bass, but again, I don't recall there being any music in the environment when I was filming. This was, you know, in a sort of location that was quite remote. You'll see in a minute from the daytime footage what it looked like, but let me play you that. Now, in the episode that is available on the Underground Paradox, I talk about this, and as I said, I pulled out an insert. Actually, I'll just play that first, actually. What I tried to do, because I got some daytime footage and I had the nighttime footage, I tried to take some stills and overlay them over the top of them so you guys can get an idea of scale and what I was looking at. But anyway, have a watch of this. Well, you didn't think I would forget, did you? So I'll let you watch the footage that I filmed the next morning, stood in the same spot that I was filming the night before. I'll let you watch it first, and then I can start doing some comparison and breaking down my own evidence, which is a bit weird, but let's have a look, see. So this is a good part of the footage to freeze and show you just where that town was that I was filming, where the lights were in the nighttime footage. And then what I want to do in just a moment is try and overlay the two images together, the nighttime and the daytime, as best I can to see if I can get a sort of match up. Already, hopefully you can see that at high level and low level, there's not anything that's popping out immediately that would explain the light source, but maybe we'll better get an understanding when I do that overlay of each image and where that light source was emanating from. This is the best that I could do by putting two shots together, but this is where the town lights are, and then that's where the light that I was seeing on the camera was. But with my naked eye, and when I put the camera down and looked ahead of me, I could not see it. So that's like just an example of the comparison. It's not the best, as I said. I'm not a videographer. I'm not the greatest at these effects, but you know, I can play you. I've just got the. So if anybody does want to go back and refer to it, I do have the separate footage that I can play. But because when I was, you know, I didn't expect this to happen. So I'm nighttime filming, and you know, you hope that you might see something, but I'm certainly learning that probably better to be better prepared that you might actually see something. But when I was filming on the night and getting frustrated that I could see it on the camera and I couldn't see it with my eye, I couldn't remember what was actually in the distance. I hadn't paid much attention when I'd arrived in the afternoon. And so I was as eager as anybody to wait to be able to get that daytime footage, because I didn't know if it was like some sort of high telegraph pole with like low level lights on it or something like that. You know, something that would explain why there was like a kind of stationary light that I couldn't see with my eye, but my camera was picking up. There was just some interesting comments that just came through. So Tavi had one there. The human eye cannot pick up low-level grade luminescence. We can't even see the light that we give off, except a few people who've reported seeing auras, which can come in a variety of colours. Well, I certainly get auras with migraines, but I'm going to talk about some slight stuff in a minute, unfortunately. Well, not, I mean, it's fortunate that I'll talk about it, but it's a bit unfortunate. But the camera can. Evening to Mickey. Thank you for coming along. Hopefully you can catch up with what we're talking about. Don't know if you've watched the recent episode on the Underground Paradox. Give me a thumbs up in comments if you have, or if you haven't, let me know. Anyway, so you can see from that daytime footage, again, let me share the video in a different way so that then we can have it up on screen without the volume, but just have it for reference about some things that we're talking about. So you can clearly see that there's no sort of telegraph back. There's no sort of telegraph poles, nothing at the sort of height where we're seeing this light emanating from. I've pointed out where the sort of lights were from that little residential area that I was filming. You can clearly see them behind the sort of tree line. It was quite a distance away. Throughout the video that's on the Underground Paradox, I do kind of explain that one of the other things is I do remember the tree being there. So I was like wondering whether it was something hanging off of the tree or something that was reflective. Now, a bit of backstory, which I didn't talk about too much, I do reference on the video, on the Underground Paradox episode. But, you know, after I filmed this in Bude in Cornwall, whilst I was out there, I think it was the night after, actually, I told Maz all about it. I don't know if Maz is still with us in chat. But I then showed her and Ludacris the footage, and we kind of talked a little bit about what it could possibly be, and some ideas that kicked around, which I talk about in the video, is just for purposes. And again, let me take this one off and bring back the nighttime footage. Let's just keep that playing in the background with no volume. And so basically, I played those guys the footage, and then we were kind of sort of talking about what it could possibly be. And one idea that came up was that it could have been some sort of military craft, or police force, some official force doing sort of UV filming, or something like that. I kind of sort of presented an argument for that one, because, regardless of whether they're filming in that fashion, they would still need to have the required flashing lights on their craft for safety reasons, etc. So that would be very unlikely, unless it was an absolutely a covert thing, which I don't think was happening in Bude, Cornwall. Maz is back. Thanks for coming back, Maz. Mickey says he hasn't watched it yet. So yeah, there are some spoilers obviously in here, but please do go and watch the full episode afterwards. There's loads of stuff in there that you might find interesting, but that's over on the Underground Paradox. But there is a link in the description. Let me bring that one up, because I don't use my banners very often. So the links in description to this episode that I'm talking about. That's that I released on the Underground Paradox this week. But yeah, so that was one suggestion that came up. Then I think we talked about lasers, but then with the kind of night that it was, you'd expect to see some sort of beam coming off of the laser, and if somebody was playing around with laser, because again, I said that although my bad camera work doesn't make it look so, but it was basically quite stationary, this object, to my eye, or what I could see on the camera. It wasn't moving. So yeah, so we thought about lasers as well. One thing that I didn't say on the Underground Paradox episode, which I will say now, that I thought about since, is there is a possibility it could have been some sort of drone with some sort of night vision or UV camera on it that's picking it up. We had some suggestions earlier on from Tavi, where she was talking about certain things can, not be visible or viewable to the naked eye, but can be picked up on camera because of their level of grade of luminescence. But if you've got examples of that, Tavi, of things that can produce that would be super useful. But yeah, I wanted to bring this one to you guys, because I know how good you are being honest, and and just saying what maybe you think it is. But I can't expect. There was things that I was expecting it to be, but then when I got that daytime footage, there was still really no explanation being offered from here where that stationary light source would be at that level. Yeah, I kind of knew it wouldn't be like a mountain in the distance, because there was a possible chance that it could be coming from some sort of vehicle if there was a more elevated land in the distance. But again, as you can see, that's not a factor. It's quite a flat area of Cornwall coming off the coast of Bude. But yeah, I'm really, really puzzled by this one, and keep trying to come up with explanations. Now, the one thing I said that I needed to talk about and offer up really is, which is a bit unfortunate, but I've recently just been diagnosed with having photophobia. So in the coming weeks, you're going to notice when you see me on live streams that I'm going to be wearing much different glasses, because actually sitting in front of these, like even these kind of lights, are kind of not great for me. And the sad news is that I've been referred also for more tests on my eyes, because they picked something up. And so there is, I do have to concede that it may be this condition that's been picked up, that, because none of you guys were there with me. It was only me that was there. And I don't know if anybody else that would have been with me might have been able to see it with their naked eye. Maybe there's something about this condition in my eyes that's not allowing me, but it seems like a bit of a stretch considering the condition is the over access of light, not the diminution of light. So it would be actually probably the opposite way round. But I just have to offer that up, trying to be, always say that we're searching for the truth, but you have to kind of put all options on the table and all possible explanations and possible logic. But yeah, guys, keep your comments coming if you can think of anything to explain this. Let me bring it back up on, actually, let me bring the other one up, because you've seen because there was a second nighttime footage and you guys haven't really been watching that too much in the background. So I'll bring this one up. I've tried to have a look with my naked eye, switch the camera, just to get some more idea, but it was definitely elevated. It was definitely in the sky. Yes. So Sean's just put in comments about unlucky you have stuck on your bone. Yes, it's that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I'm going to look like I'm wearing shades indoors. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult, I think, to get used to, because I don't like it when things are too dark. And it will certainly make stuff at night a little bit more challenging. But I just, I just needed to offer it up because, it could be, this is just frustrating me and I just need answers. And as I said at the top of the show, there's something about the fact that, well, a couple of things that I haven't mentioned, because I said that I was going to talk a little bit about audio. Other than some weird sounds that I'm getting on the video footage, I don't recall there being any sound there, and certainly no sound coming from this thing that I'm filming. So, then sort of talking about things like crafts, etc. Oh, I've just lost one of my monitors, but hopefully everything's okay your end. But yeah, so it's sort of, with no sound, it does eliminate a lot of like craft things like helicopters or planes, etc., because I wasn't hearing any of that kind of noise. Yeah, so that's a really important fundamental part of the audio. But I've got to be honest with you, the sound that I've picked up afterwards, which is like this kind of, I don't know, it sounds like a shuffling kind of sound. As I said, it sounds a little bit like to me, like somebody blowing up a camper bed. But I don't recall that happening in the environment when I was filming this. So yeah, it's an important part of the audio because it eliminates a lot of like kind of craft things. I do think this thing was stationary. This is the thing. So yeah, I just want an explanation. But maybe you guys won't have it right now, right this moment, but give it some thought and, maybe come back to this this episode afterwards and just leave your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, please do go over and watch the episode on the Underground Paradox. It'd be interesting to get your comments there as well, actually, because it's had a few views, but no comments, sadly, at the moment, which I really, really was hoping for, because I really wanted to get some thoughts from people to sort of lead me in the right direction. And I am open, because I do think it's there should be a logical explanation to this. But yeah, you can keep watching it by going to watch the episode on the Underground Paradox, and then you can rewatch it as many times as you like to your heart's desire. Yeah, so that's all I came along to talk about this evening. If you do go and watch that episode of the Underground Paradox, I am interested in getting plenty of feedback about things that you think I should or shouldn't include. If you are joining us for the first time, you can also reach me at email, the UGP at myyahoo.com. Yeah, because as I said, the episode is interesting because it's first time out in the bongo, the camper van. But yeah, I think I should have gone out for a night doing that first without worrying about filming, because I wasn't doing either very well. But yeah, lots of interesting things happened there, and I did not expect to capture anything. What have we got here in comments? Actually, there's some stuff coming through. I don't think it's this, but just thought I'd mention it. There are a few planets visible recently. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, again, I just struggle with the fact that is there a phenomenon with that you can see it with the camera but you can't see it with your eye? Because again, if it's anything you know, you know, astrological, you know, you should sort of, to an element, be able to see both, or I would have had to have zoomed in greatly with the camera to see it in the first place. It kind of, how this thing was popping up on my screen is like I was seeing stars that were further in the distance as far as I'm concerned, so but I couldn't see it. But anyway, that is a really good suggestion, Mickey, and I think you got some love. Oh no, Maz said I have no ideas what it is, sorry. But then said, oh, good thought, Mickey. Mars looked quite reddy orange. Oh, that's... Make sure you got that notification bell on, Courtney. But yeah, I'll have a word with the YouTube people why they're not notifying you. Mickey says, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then what have we got from Sean? You can use that Astro app on your phone to line up and light stars. Yeah, I should have done that. Again, it's, you know, you live and learn through these moments, because for me, I did not expect, you know, I did a video recently where I had sort of two experiences in 2024. One was caught on camera, one was not. And I felt extremely lucky to have had that. And as I said, I don't think this particular experience in Bude is otherworldly or paranormal. I've got this, I don't know, instinctive gut feeling that there is an explanation, and I've just got to get to it. Because again, another thing that I mentioned towards the end of the video, flares. I've even thought about flares, because I know that there are flares that they can fire that will actually stay stationary for a while. But then I'm thinking, right, location, you know, this is why you need to go and watch the full video on the Underground Paradox, because Bude as a location is a sort of seaside town. It's not near any kind of military training grounds, or I mean, it's right on the ocean. So yeah, you know, and there's a lot of activity around the Atlantic there, from British military and Navy and other things. But, you know, it's not near anything where they would be doing tests where I would imagine that a flare would be used of that kind of nature. And we are talking about really, you know, the ones that can stay stationary. They're really high-tech military, you know, ones, not something that you just find in the public domain that people just fire off. But I even considered that because, again, I'm searching for this logical explanation, because I think there must be one. What was interesting, which again I don't mention on the actual episode on the Underground Paradox, is that later that evening I did try and go out and film the same area, and I couldn't pick it up. I couldn't find it. But I feel that I found it originally, as you can see in the original footage. I just found it by happenstance. I was just doing you know, I was just trying to do a 180 of the landscape, and just came across it by accident. But certainly a lot of lessons learned. Got to do better things, like Sean's just mentioned there in comments, where he said about the Astro app, things like that. I've got to have these things on standby and think about them. But when you're in the moment, all I was doing was going, why can't I see this? Is something wrong with my camera? Getting frustrated, you know, all of that malarkey. So yeah, what have we got here from Mazza? If you go for yellow eye tint for your glasses, you would look even more like Tony Stark. Yeah, I don't think I went for yellow. I think I've gone for brown and blue. So yeah, I'm waiting to pick the glasses up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to be here this week. So yeah, you might see them shortly. But I do, you know, I don't think it's this eye condition that I'm that's come about since, because this was filmed back in February, by the way. So it was February that I was doing the overnight in Bude, and obviously it's taken me all this time to edit the stuff together, and I've been busy this week editing. This is why this episode was rushed to pull together. But yeah, I just felt like I wanted to talk about it more. Hadn't seen a lot of comments coming through, so hopefully you guys can think about this. You know, again, it's go and watch the episode. I don't want any hard and fast answers right now, but any answer that comes forward from somebody, you know, would be really cool. Yeah. So, and then what have we got here from Sean? Not sure if you smoke, but one lad I know had to stop going for a cheeky smoke during work when he got photo reaction lenses. He was caught every time. No, so these glasses that I actually wear at the moment, and you'll see if you watch my episodes on the Underground Paradox, these are reactive. So for quite a few years now, I've had reactive glasses in and out, but these ones will be permanently tinted, 30% tint. So yeah, it always will look, but you know, they've got to do more tests and find out what's going on. But you know, it was all brought about by headaches, unfortunately. So it is having a detrimental effect, and even just the light from these things doing streaming is starting to bother me. So it's all going to help. It's all good. It's all really positive. Get into the background of what's going on. But yeah, I had to just say it because it could be an explanation about why I couldn't see this light, but doubtful. There's a few things that I even know that I'm reaching for, because I just want to try and explain this one. But anyway, I'm going to finish off here. And all I'm going to say is, if you haven't watched the episode on the Underground Paradox, please do go and check it out and give me a bit of support there. Any love that you can show will be much appreciated. There's a lot of stuff, as I said, coming up this week on the vault. We've got the guys that have been here with me tonight on the show, thankfully. The guys from the Star Trek Review Show, they'll be here on Wednesday, covering another review of Picard. And then we've got the Monty Zone on Friday, where we're doing unexplained celebrity deaths, and I'm definitely sure, positive, we're going to be talking a little bit about JFK, at least because of all the released files that have been released this week, which is exciting, and still a lot of people studying and looking over them, but there's some instant bits that have come through that we can talk about. So that's happening. And then on Sunday, back with me here on G Star Vault, where we're doing another thought-provoking movies episode, and I've got a special guest coming along, who is an author, who you know, really knows about the subject that we're talking about. So that'll be good to hear what their favorite movies are. I will be in the community thread revealing who that guest is as the week goes on, so keep an eye out on the community thread and keep your notification bells on. And then, you know, for the Underground Paradox, I've got some stuff. We're going to go out with Monty and do some test filming, location where we're going to do, which is an exciting abandoned airfield in Cornwall. So we're doing that wisely and going and doing some scanning of the location first and prepping some stuff, and then we'll go and do an overnight camp there. So lots of cool stuff coming. But yeah, please check out the episode on Underground Paradox. To make it easy for you, link is in the description. I will see you on Wednesday with the Star Trek crew, and then all the way throughout next week. But thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you guys very shortly. Enjoy the rest and what remains of your weekend. Big love.